Hey, what is going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Average Gamer Podcast. We're back. I always try to say how long it's been since the last one, because I only really upload these anymore. It's been a month. Oh, okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. It's been over a month since the last podcast, and I think the last time we were talking about all that Phase Jarvis stuff. I actually don't know what he's doing anymore. Pop that up. But today, as you can see from the title, we're talking about the I guess auto aim controversy with especially recently Halo Reach on PC, but as games start to move cross platform, that whole big controversy. Yeah. So, we're going to talk a little bit about that, and then we're gonna have some other random topics that pop up in my head too. So we'll see how it all goes. But yeah, the first thing wanted to talk about is I guess cross play between controllers and keyboard and mouse. And obviously the big game uh where this has come up has been Halo Reach. Obviously, Halo Reach came out on Steam. And Xbox, for PC though, and you can use a keyboard and mouse with it. But you can also use a controller, and I'm a big fan of Summit 1G. Obviously, I watch him a lot. Same with Lyric and a ton of other guys, but I like watching Summit a lot. And probably about a week ago, 2 weeks ago, he started really getting into Halo, and he's a huge fan of Halo. And he was grinding up the ranks, and he kind of started complaining about controllers and how controller players don't miss a shot. So in Halo Reach, it's five shotting. Um, takes 5 shots to kill someone plus a headshot, and a lot of the I guess pro players on controllers, Snakebite, Lethal, APG, all those guys can do it pretty consistently. And Summit was saying, and not it wasn't just Summit, but a lot of people were complaining how weak keyboard and mouse felt. Now I started playing the game on PC with keyboard and mouse because it's kind of like, why would I play it without keyboard and mouse if it's on PC? Uh, and I was missing shots, especially when you're close quarters. At range is range, right? And auto aim with the controller at range does kind of get thrown out the window a little bit. It's not nearly as good as it is like when you're next to the person. But I'll say this, when you're standing next to someone in Halo Reach, and a lot of the gunfights in Halo happen within like 5 feet of each other, because that's just how the maps are. Um, it's really hard to hit shots with keyboard and mouse. So I decided to chuck on my controller. I threw on a PlayStation controller, but it worked the same. And let me tell you, auto aim is it's impressive. It is really, really impressive. You wouldn't think, I guess, that it's that much of an advantage, but it's huge. And there's a lot of videos going around where, when you shoot with a controller, it actually pulls you closer to that person's body, added on with the aim assist that's already implemented with controllers. It's quite the advantage, especially when you're tracking a guy close range in Halo. It is really actually it's hard to kind of miss your shots. It is kind of hard to hit your shots, and especially for those pro players who've been playing Halo forever, who are already good enough to practically play Halo without auto aim or aim assist. Uh, it's it's impressive how easy it is, but also the pros make it look like it's like the easiest thing in the world to shoot someone 5 shot, especially. And I can agree that for Halo Reach, at least, the auto aim it's really hard to get past that idea in your head and that thought in your head if you're playing on keyboard and mouse, because you're getting absolutely lit up and you feel like you're not doing anything to these guys, and it's a little bit of a struggle, I will say that. But there's a lot of talk going on Twitter where like controller players and keyboard and mouse players shouldn't go up against each other. They shouldn't, whatever. And I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think there can be a happy medium where controller players they have auto aim, because I don't know if people understand this, but there's a big difference between using your whole arm and your hand and a pinpoint accurate mouse compared to the joystick on a controller. It would be impossible without aim assist, or at least a little bit of aim assist, to hit people with a controller. Like, it would be really hard. I don't know if people have tried to do it with a controller. It is really hard. You don't have nearly the precision you can have with a keyboard and mouse. So aim assist, it's never gonna go away. And on top of that, for competitive and for just gaming in general, companies don't care a whole lot about competitive, especially with these newer games coming out, especially more games like Call of Duty. They up the aim assist so new players will feel like they can actually shoot people. That's just how it is, and it kind of sucks. But if they want to make the transition and they want you know console players, I guess, or just controller players and keyboard and mouse players to go up against each other, they just have to lower the aim assist. But even then, I feel like people will somehow find a way to complain. Uh, somehow. It's never gonna be enough though, I don't think. And as much as I would like to see controller players and keyboard and mouse players go up against each other, it'll probably never happen. Now, one of the other things, I forget who brought it up was, but they said, like, I want to see a controller player try to play CS:GO. They'd get destroyed, and it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, they would get destroyed because CS:GO is all flick reaction, and without aim assist, you can't flick react with a controller. It is like really really hard to do. Like, obviously people have done it. Obviously Halo Reach with the sniper with a controller, there is no magical pull. I mean, it's practically the same thing with a keyboard and mouse. Keep it like once you pick up a sniper in Halo Reach, keyboard and mouse has the advantage. But like, it wouldn't work with CS:GO. I mean, I don't think a lot of the people who talk on Twitter have ever picked up a controller and tried to play with it without aim assist. You can turn aim assist off in Call of Duty. I don't know about Modern Warfare because Modern Warfare sucks, but in the other Call of Duties, you can turn your aim assist off. And I want you to go into a multiplayer match with a controller and try to kill people. I promise you, you might get a few kills, but it is going to be the hardest thing in the world to do. And it's one of those things where I don't think it's just never going to happen. Uh, I think eventually what's actually going to happen is games like Call of Duty are going to, well, we were thinking possibly move to PC, right? Because obviously Call of Duty, they're on the Blizzard launcher now. That's a whole big thing with it started in Black Ops 4 obviously, but they might move to PC for the stability, right, of the game. Uh and I think that's something that's probably possible, but obviously the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox, whatever it is, Xbox 2, they're coming out too soonish. So I don't know. I mean, Call of Duty is one of those only. It's like one of the only games where, or that's alive really competitively on console. I know, obviously, there's Fortnite on console, Apex. No, I'm talking about a game that is like exclusively competitive on console, and Call of Duty is like one of the only really big ones that I can even think of. Uh, and I at the end of the day, they might not really even move away from that. And I know a lot of people, especially when they were doing those 2v2 tournaments, like the Doctor Disrespect, whatever, red tournaments. I never remember the name of them. A lot of PC players were complaining that the console guys like were practically auto aiming, I guess. But that's just how Call of Duty is competitively on console. I've played a lot of competitive Call of Duty, and that's just kind of how it is. And I don't think Call of Duty will ever really stray from that. But the thing is, at the end of the day, PC players, keyboard and mouse players, they have a plethora of games that they can play. And though Call of Duty, might not be one of them, it kind of sucks to suck. You have the better system, and you have about a million other games. I guess console can have that one game, Call of Duty and even Halo. It'd be nice to have kind of a Halo scene with PC, but Halo, since the beginning of time, has always been competitive with a controller, and I don't think they're going to stray too far away from that. Though, I do think a game like Halo 5 would be a lot better than Halo Reach in terms of, keyboard and mouse versus controller. Halo 5 was just different. Halo Reach, I know they're trying to go in order with their games, but Halo Reach was probably just the worst game they could have came out with first on PC. But obviously they're going in like the order of the just campaigns and everything, so it's interesting. And maybe people will find a way to balance it, but either way people will complain and kind of sucks. But what are you going to do? Can't really do much about, about that whole topic cuz it's just unfortunate. Certain games were built for controller and certain games were built for mouse and keyboard, and it's really hard to twist that. Even if the developers are looking to implement, keyboard into their controller games, it's really hard to do, and I don't think Call of Duty or Halo will ever really be keyboard and mouse games, but who knows? Who knows what the future holds, right? Um, another topic. Another topic. Dead by Daylight added a penalty for disconnecting, but they took it away. And I don't know when they're actually going to officially implement this I guess penalty. So if you disconnect from a match once, you get a 1 minute penalty from searching for a match, which is nothing. And really, I only disconnect if like I'm going up against Billy and he instantly chainsaws across the map and kills one of my teammates, and it instantly chainsaws and kills another one. I don't care to play that. Playing Hillbilly and playing Legion are some of the most frustrating things, and it's not even that Legion's that hard to like loop. Like I can loop a Legion player forever. It's just the fact that it's just a chore to play Legion. But back on the topic of disconnecting. If you disconnect twice, it's 5 minutes. Disconnect 3 times, I believe it's 15 minutes. And it kind of keeps just going up. Disconnect a fourth time, it's 30 minutes, and so on and so forth. I think it'll help a little bit, but I've never really thought disconnecting was this huge epidemic. I don't see it that often. The only time I really see people disconnect is when like the killer is, doing average killer things, They're slugging and it's so apparent that they're slugging that it's like, why am I going to sit here? Or, I haven't really got mad at my teammates for disconnecting in a while, because most of the time I can kind of see why they're doing it. Or it's like the beginning of the match and they somehow got disconnected and there wasn't even a chainsaw noise yet. They just disconnected. Like I've never really ran into it that much. And I'm rank 2 on Dead by Daylight. I'm pushing for rank 1. We're almost there, but yeah, I don't know. But, obviously having a penalty is not a terrible thing. I think it'll help a lot for, especially for, I mean, there's obviously players who disconnect a lot, but I think it'll help tremendously with those players. And I mean, why not? Why not add it? Every game has a disconnect penalty, like any game you ever play. So you might as well add it. I think they took it away because there was some bugs with it. If the game crashed, uh, you would get the penalty. But if you disconnected and quit the game during the load screen, you wouldn't get the penalty. If you see a Ebony Mori pop up on the load screen, as all the offerings are coming up, well, just end task, the game crashed, and you're good. It's kind of funny. Uh, Obviously, all the Christmas sales are going on Steam. I have never bought anything with physical money for Dead by Daylight, but I decided to get Ghostface. Cause I don't know. I love playing Ghostface. I don't know what it is. I love going up against Ghostface. I think it's just so fun. Oh, and hopefully this doesn't play. Oop. It's infinite loading. I think we're good. No, but I love going up against Ghostface. I think it's super fun. Like, oh no, there goes the audio. I don't know what the heck that was. But yeah, I like playing Ghostface. I think he's super fun to go up against. And I was like, he's probably super fun to play. So I started playing him. And the first match, I was trying to figure out how he works. Like, I know how he works, but there's a difference between going up against him as a survivor and then playing as that killer. Cause like I have to learn the key binds and everything. But I think I finally kind of got it. But let's just say that I'm a rank 17 killer. I don't play killer very often. I get into a match and we're playing on the hospital, and about a minute in, my ruin's gone. And the first thing I went to check was my ruin, and it was in a pretty bad spot nevertheless. And all of a sudden I'm getting gen rushed, and I'm like, I'm rank 17. They finished one of the gens almost before ruin was even gone. I was like, what? Because like once ruin popped, I knew it popped, and all of a sudden a gen popped like about maybe 5 seconds later. And then these people were looping me like they were rank 1 survivors. And I was like, what the heck? And then so one of them just magically has balanced landing. No one runs balanced landing, but oh, when I go against someone, they got balanced landing. Better believe it. And then D strike. Two of the guys had D strike. I'm just sitting there like, what? And then I end up winning barely at the last door because I have no ed. And I get the guy, throw him on the hook. I was like, I'm exhausted. What? I'm rank 17 killer. Come on. And I look, and they're all like rank 17, 16, 18. One of them was 19, and they have full builds. And I was just like, how? I don't understand. Because I swear, when I'm playing Dead by Daylight as a survivor, I get some of the worst teammates I've ever seen in my life. But the second I go as killer, these guys know how to loot me. They have every perk in the books. They're sprint bursting off the gens I'm going towards. They have spine chill. Like, did they know I was Ghost? Like, I don't know. I swear that happens so much. But I'm gonna play more killer. Kind of get more, or get better at the killer role. Obviously I still don't have a whole, I guess, a lot of map presence and map, like I have map knowledge, but like how to kind of keep a balanced, presence over the map, not just focus on one generator. I got to spread myself out more, and obviously that comes with more experience. Obviously, like I know how good killers work. I have a lot of hours in Dead by Daylight, but I guess it's a little bit different from playing and going up against good killers, because I really main survivor. It's a lot more fun to me. But we're slowly grinding some killer, trying to get better at it, and yeah, yeah. Now I don't want to talk a whole lot about Dead by Daylight, but I really quickly just want to say, Nerf Hillbilly, Legion's annoying. Honestly, Ani, I haven't run into many Anis in a while. He is annoying to play against because once he hits his form and he hits you down, he just keeps running around the map, and you can't really go and save that person that's on the ground because if Ani comes back, you're dead. There's not much option for you. It's kind of like it's like playing Hillbilly. The second he goes into that form, but it's a better Hillbilly. But then when he's out of the form, it's kind of like whatever. But yeah, yeah. There's the Dead by Daylight topic. I don't know. We always talk about Dead by Daylight somehow. It gets brought up. Uh, but yeah, it's Christmas today. It's the 25th. Yes, I'm doing this on Christmas, and yeah, been a good week. Uh, chilling. I know NBA basketball's today. I know this is the Average Gamer podcast, but if you can look at the description, I'm like, oh, yeah, we'll talk about some sports too. We'll talk about everything. I haven't really been paying much to basketball this season. I mean, like everyone worth anything's kind of injured. Obviously, the Lakers are probably going all the way because they're kind of stacked. Uh, football wise, Barcelona, they're looking a little bit better. Obviously, Suarez still kind of struggling. I mean, he hasn't been in like the best form ever. Obviously, like it's Suarez though. You get him in front of the net, he's either gonna be Suarez and just score like he does, or he's gonna shank it 5 feet to the left. But, eh, you know, can't really complain. He's done a lot for Barcelona. I know people like to hate so quickly. It's actually kind of sad. Uh, yeah, Barcelona's not looking terrible. They could keep working their way through the Champions League. Do I think they're gonna win the Champions League? It's gonna be hard, but I think they have a chance to go pretty far. In terms of American football, the Ravens, the 49ers, the Seahawks. Yeah. I mean, the Patriots have a decent record, but they're not playing like the greatest, right? Marshawn Lynch is back on a 1-year contract, which is interesting. We'll have to see how that plays out because Seahawks are pretty good, and Marshawn Lynch will probably make some plays. I know he's been out for a while, but like it's Marshawn Lynch. Come on. But yeah, I was trying to think what games have I been playing. But I've really been mainly just playing Dead by Daylight. I tried to kind of get into CS:GO yesterday, and I just had this like eh moment because I was doing some casual matchmaking just to try to like get my shot back. And these kids are just running around with shotguns, like one tapping me in the head. I don't know if they were hacking. Wouldn't be surprised. But I was just like, this sucks, man. But I've been watching Summit play Rainbow Six Siege, and as much as I don't really care that much to play it, I guess I kind of want to get into it a little bit because it's one of those. I don't know. It's one of those games. I don't know how to explain it. That I think it would be fun to kind of get into, but I got to learn the maps myself, and I got to learn the operators and unlock the operators and all this stuff. It's gonna take some hours. Which do I really want to put the hours in? I don't know. The Isle, that dinosaur game, I think I talked about on the last podcast. They just released a new, huge update. They didn't release it, but they kind of revealed it. It's called Hope. Um, a new map. Finally, you can be an aquatic animal. Well, I guess you call it I don't. A reptile. It's a crocodile. You can be a huge crocodile. As a carnivore, as certain carnivores, you can actually get fish from rivers, which is huge because if you play the Isle, you'll know how annoying it is to get food. And if you're a herbivore, you can graze. Now, I don't know if you did play the Isle, you'll know this. As a herbivore, when you are kind of stuck with the pack and there's carnivores kind of just watching up the hill, it's really hard to go out and get food because the second you kind of leave the pack, the carnivores are running down the hill at you and you have to run back to the pack. It's like, okay, but now you can graze as a herbivore. So you can kind of walk around and eat grass and fill your hunger up. You don't have to find the bushes, which is kind of huge. To be honest, it's pretty big. Uh, was this? Oh, this was the 15th. What? Sorry, I'm looking at Squad. I'm just going through my list of games. Squad, obviously the military sim game. I always go back to that for a while and play it for like a couple days straight, and then I kind of like get out of it again. But they got some update happening. They're just fixing a bunch of stuff though. They added helicopters to the game, and I think it's actually pretty sick. Uh, yeah. And then Rocket League. I was sitting there playing Rocket League like probably a week ago, and I just kind of told myself, eh, like I don't really care anymore for Rocket League. I'm champ 3. I've been grand champ, I've been out of grand champ, whatever. It's just like everyone's toxic as heck on Rocket League. I don't understand it. Like the last 5 games I've played, like at least one of my teammates has just been the most toxic piece of trash teammate. And it's like, why? I don't. And they're always normally the ones who are doing the worst on the team. And I'm just sitting there like, okay. And that just like discourages me, I guess. Because we could have possibly won. We could have possibly pushed the map further and maybe even won, right? But nope, it's not gonna happen because our teammate decides to say screw it and toss the game out the window and just be toxic, which is like I guess fine, but it kind of sucks when your teammates just start getting like that. And instantly it's just like yeah, we lose. Like you can't really do a whole lot. Which sucks, right? And I love Rocket League. I have probably over 1,000 hours in Rocket League, but it's just I guess not enough anymore because the game's just it's toxic. As much as I love the game, it's really toxic. And it sucks. That sucks to see. Obviously, you don't want to see a game go downhill, I guess, like that. But it's kind of how it's gone for Rocket League. So now, right, I'm kind of just scrolling through Steam, and they have obviously the winter sales for a ton of different games. I'm trying to find a game that I would even possibly want to buy. The only game I'm like looking at maybe is The Witcher. I never played The Witcher 3. I think that'd be kind of fun to play, but at the same time, like it's so hard for me to get into like an RPG. I don't know why, it just is. So maybe we'll find something eventually. Who knows? Yeah, there's just not a whole bunch. I don't know. There's not many games. Like I'm just looking forward to the next Battlefield, and hopefully, it's a modern Battlefield. But at this rate, we're probably going back to Vietnam because they really like making these World War games. But it is what it is. Um, but yeah, I don't want to keep rambling on because I don't really know what else to talk about. Um, Obviously it's Christmas. Merry Christmas to everybody. We talked the Halo, we talked the aim assist thing, talk a little bit about Dead by Daylight, and yeah. The only other thing is I started getting back into Clash of Clans, and I've I've been playing. I've been grinding some Clash of Clans. I'm not gonna lie. I just got to Town Hall 7. Well, like a few days ago. I pretty much have everything built that I can. I just got to do upgrading, and then I'll get my dragons. Really looking forward to getting my dragons. Cause it's kind of a game changer having dragons. I don't know. Currently, I'm also just currently upgrading all the walls you get for Town Hall 7, and then I'll redo the base because I already have everything bought that I can have bought, I guess, except for a few an army camp and a barracks, but that's not like that important, I don't think. And a couple traps, but those take nothing to build. So I can pretty much set up my base very, very soon, which is exciting. I'll have that Town Hall 7 base. Um, and I don't really rush my town halls. I try to get my walls pretty high. Like right now, they're the purple walls, not the purple, pink walls. And I'll keep the pink walls for a little bit because I've seen Town Hall 9s that have like wood walls still. So I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll just keep doing what I'm doing because I'm ahead of other people anyways. Honestly, I'm not even that far out from Town Hall 8. I just gotta build my base and then I normally try to upgrade everything first, but like, eh, I'll do a little Russian myself. But yeah, today, it's Christmas Day. I'm chilling at home, doing like nothing. But I'm trying to get back into streaming a little bit, just having some fun, playing some games. Today I'll probably play some Rainbow Six, possibly, maybe some Battlefield, and then obviously I'm gonna play some more Killer and Dead by Daylight. So we'll see how that goes. See what fun we can have, and again, Merry Christmas to everybody. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the podcast. If you're still listening, thank you. And I guess I'll see you guys all in the next one. Yes, the music. We needed it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And Merry Christmas. And I'll see you guys when I see you. Could be a month, could be a few weeks. Who knows? Peace.